The Legend of Zelda, a series beloved by many. People around the world have been completely grasped by the world of this franchise. The many dungeons and characters throughout the series and enamored players throughout time. Why don't we take a look back and see where the series came from, and how we got to the international success that we have today. The legend begins with a small boy growing up in Sonobe, Kyoto in the 50s. Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of both Mario and The Legend of Zelda, two of the most popular video game franchises of all time, would find entertainment in exploring the forests and caves in his hometown. He would even create his own toys out of wood and string and create stories of magical realms. In interviews, Miyamoto tends to note how he got the inspiration for The Legend of Zelda from finding a dark hole when he was young and coming back the next day with a lantern to find an expansive cavern. This obviously influenced the idea of gathering items and returning to locations to further explore them with those items. Well, where did all this inspiration get us? The year is 1986, and the first Legend of Zelda gets released to the public to be played by millions. Where do I go? While it's not the best representation of the franchise today, it was certainly revolutionary in most aspects. The Legend of Zelda was the first game that had an expansive, detailed world that the player could interact with. Well, as far as the NES could allow them to. But in the 80s, this was huge. Players were able to explore the world and find secrets within the game. But most players used a strategy guide, a book that was published for the game that would show players exactly where to go to do everything. Because this game kind of let you do whatever with basically no direction other than save the princess, which is fine, but left a lot of people confused. I'm so lost! Years later, after The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword came out in 2011 to mixed reviews, people began to wonder where the series would go next and if it would turn out well. That was until June 10th, 2014, at that year's E3, where Nintendo would show off their completely new and yet to be titled Legend of Zelda game. Before the teaser began, Aoji Aonuma, the head director of the Zelda series at the time, explained how they took the original game as a starting point and expanded from there. He wanted to bring the series full circle and create a world where the player could travel anywhere they wanted at any point, and it would all feel connected, which was not a value the developers could achieve after the jump to 3D and many console limitations. Aonuma believed that with the Wii U, it was finally time to experience that in full. He showed a still video of the world of this new game, and expressed to players that they could go far into the mountains in the background if they so desired. Aonuma then left, and the trailer began. After the fade out, the video gives the audience a general release date, 2015. Yeah, that aged like fine milk. After a couple more showings of the game showing off its progress through development and multiple delays, including a name drop, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the game was shown in the first official look at Nintendo's most recent console, the Nintendo Switch, where it would release day and date with the handheld console hybrid. This was huge. The Wii U was a commercial failure with terrible marketing and poor overall quality. But the Switch, a brand new console advertised for everyone rather than just kids, this could be one of Nintendo's biggest moves to date. In doing this, however, they effectively killed off the Wii U, as essentially their last chance of selling this junk wouldn't even be exclusive. However, with how many people became extremely excited about the Switch through the marketing and the generational appeal of the game, Nintendo was set to sell more than they could have ever thought to sell if it was a Wii U exclusive. Not only that, but it was the only big game released on Switch at launch, which meant unless you're a hardcore gamer looking for the best indie games, you had Zelda to play, and Zelda only. I know some people to this day that still only have Breath of the Wild on their Switch and maybe the newly released Tears of the Kingdom. This is completely valid though, because you can get hundreds, if not thousands of hours of gameplay from just exploring the world and interacting with things in Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was not only a bestseller because it was the only big game on the Switch. No. It completely revolutionized the entire gaming industry, as Nintendo tends to do. Nintendo is known for thinking outside the box and using revolutionary ideas to make games. Breath of the Wild was no different in its expansive open world with almost no invisible borders or loading screens other than for fast travel across the map. It inspired an entire generation of games, including the most recent Game of the Year winner, Elden Ring, and Sorry, Genshin Impact. Anyways, gaming as a whole has gotten so much more mainstream over the years, to where at one point it was completely embarrassing to tell people you had a Wii U over a PS4 or Xbox One. Now, it's only slightly embarrassing to tell them about how you're choosing Pokemon Violet over God of War Ragnarok. Why did I do this? Zelda specifically has reached a point in which anyone can play and enjoy it. There really never was a barrier of entry to these games, but the series is way more accessible than ever before, and it's marketed to everyone and not just... In all seriousness, The Legend of Zelda has served such a great purpose throughout my life and many others, and the entire series has something for everyone. Even those who have never picked up a controller in their life can find the beauty of the world of Hyrule. In my opinion, everyone needs to hear the legend.